Not sure. Okay. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Sharon Weller here. And I've got some beautiful ladies also with me. And who knows who's going to pop in during our conversation. But this morning, our topic is TBC, the billion coin, and I'm saying the whole word from now on, not just the abbreviated word. TBC, the billion coin, and the chip. So we all know what the chip is. And anyway, I'm just going to give my impression of the chip. Now, back in 9/11, okay?
Hi there.
Morning. Back in 9/11, when we had the two towers go down, the firemen that died in that horrible terrorist act, or whatever you want to call it, but the firemen that what they did to themselves, they knew that they may not make it out. So what they did was more important. They put their badge number on their body. Their badge number on their body so they could be identified. Okay? And then some enterprising American company saw a sign there was a need for positive identification. Positive identification in a catastrophe as big as that. And went to work on what is now called the Verit chip. The size of a grain of rice. The Verit chip, or the chip, holds every man, woman, and child's identification in that little chip. It's a microchip, actually. But it holds my identification if I let it happen, and your identification if you let it happen. Now, I'm going to show you how big that chip is. You may have seen it already on YouTube. You may have seen it on the news, okay? But right now, I'm going to show you how big that microchip that the government wants to implant into each and every one of us. So I'm just going to lower my camera just down a little bit. Okay. So I'm just trying to make sure it keeps still. Right. Here we have an almond, or an almond nut. Okay, that's the size of an almond nut. Here is a green split pea. You can eat it in soups, or you can eat it as just a little nut itself. This one here is a chickpea. Now, chickpea, you soak in water overnight and then you add that to homemade soups. This ugly one here is a raisin, which I'm going to eat very soon. And then here is the grain of rice, the size of the chip that they want to insert into every man, woman, and child. See the difference? The size is so tiny, yet so powerful. I cannot stress how we must not let that happen to us. What does that little chip hold? Well, for a start, it will hold your full name, your birth details, your address, your age, your sex, whether you're male or female, your phone number. It will also add, and this is the important thing, if you have a government ID number. Now, the government ID number in Australia is the Centrelink number. In New Zealand is the WINS number. Any person, man, woman or child, that is dependent on the government has a number. Okay, whether they're a student or not. So, what is more devastating is what their personal details will be used for once it is in that chip. Once you have that chip inside your body, either in your hand or in your arm, once you let that happen, that is virtually it, unless you get it taken out. Because you don't know where you will, you don't know what the government is going to use your information or who they give it to. You have no control over it. Like what Facebook did, remember in my last post, I said Facebook got caught out for giving all their subscribers to a third party. And how did they do that? Everybody who uses Messenger, that's how they did it. They copied and put it in their database and gave it to a third party. Now, this is a government. Zuckerberg was one man, and he is trying to backtrack, but this is a government. So when it comes to who's going to trial these chips first, it's already in Australia, I'm afraid to say, because they had it on the news a couple of months back. Young man on the news, he was being interviewed, and he was asked his opinion on by the reporter at the time. And he said, "Oh, that's great. It's great. I can open the doors, just waving my hand to open the door with that chip." Obviously, he's waving it in front of a scanner that's on that door. And he thought it was great. I wonder if they told him the full story about that chip. I don't think so. I tried to make this I said to myself, I've got to make this not so I wanted to put some humor into it. But the more I looked at that and researched about that chip, the more I couldn't add the humor, because it's too serious a topic to add humor into this conversation. So I've got some more to say on the chip, but I've got some beautiful ladies waiting in the background that's just dying to get onto this subject. So I'm going to pass it over to Tamara. She keeps waving at me. So it's all yours, Tamara.
Oh, wow, that was awesome, sis. Absolutely. Look, I can't say much about this topic because it is as real as they come, especially in this day and age. This is what our world is resulting to. And if we don't do anything about it, this is exactly where we're heading, pretty much. Sorry, I think I'm actually echoing a little. But anyways, I'm just going to run with it. So I guess exactly what Sharon was just saying and mentioning in her comments about the chip. If we look at our own situations with our own children, you know, it's really hard now because here in Australia, in order for the children to receive their income from Centrelink, they have to go through and be injected. If they don't get the immunization, they'll cut their income.
Yes.
So it's already starting. Regardless of what you think of it, and whether you like it or not, it's already happening. You know, this is the way we're going to get our income from the government. If you get immunization, especially for our children, otherwise they're not going to get any money. You know? So a lot of people are saying we don't need money, but we all do, don't we? So the government is already telling us, you're not going to get any money, your children are not going to get any money until they get immunization. Done. Just simple as that. So have a stop and have a think about it for a little bit and see where your world is going and how it's coming about. It's all coming down into a full closure now, what this looks like. And you don't have to go far, and you don't have to look far. You know, so that is one point that I wanted to bring across, because it's already happening in Australia, especially here, that I know of. I'm pretty sure the same is happening in New Zealand. You know? And we are getting closer and closer to getting that chip in our arm. We've seen a lot of movies. People putting chip on the back of their heads. What does that tell us? It tells us that it's exactly where we're moving towards. It's actually a pre-warn. They're pre-warning us this is where exactly we're heading. So if we don't do anything about it, about owning our own, then be prepared to get that chip. Okay? So this is how serious this matter is, and this topic really is. You know, this is a great topic to discuss because it actually is an eye-opener, and it opens up our minds into a more broader perspective as to what we want for our lives, especially our new and young generations coming up. Maybe for us, as parents and grandparents, great-grandparents that are still around, maybe our time was great back then. We were able to roam the roads and walk the streets at night and all of that stuff. Now it's almost next to impossible to do so. There's wars left, right, and center everywhere you look. It's not safe anywhere anymore. And who owns us? The government. If you don't go out there and get yourselves a job, and you're relying on settling or wage income, well, get immunization done. You know, the government actually controls and owns us. So, you know, get on the road, just creating your own wealth. You know, make sure that you look at your children, look at your family, and get on board. What we're providing and what we're giving is far more than gold, far more than silver. It's literally a God-given opportunity. Giving it back to your hands, you can become your own leader, your own provider. This is the time to start providing for your children and their children and your generations yet to come. Okay, so we can't stress it enough how important it is to get on board. Get on board for the billion coin. It is a vehicle that is going to take you to places that you could never, ever dream possible on your own. Yes. Take it back, Sharon. Thank you so much for the opportunity to share this great topic. It is a topic that is so close to home, and we can all resonate because it is happening right now in our homes. So thanks, sis.
Okay, thank you, Tamara. Now, I just wanted to mention that, while researching, I came across a video on YouTube. I got this gentleman had the chip already inserted in his body somewhere. The point was he was running out of medication, of a certain type. He had a heart condition. He was also diabetic. So he had to ring up. He was ringing up wherever they ring to the company. And he was on the phone to the operator. And he said to the operator, "Oh, I've run out of medication. I need such and such." This operator at the other end read out. Now this is this is how his call went. "Hello, operator. Yes, Mr. So-and-so. Your address details are such and such in the US. Your age, your phone number, the phone you're ringing from, and your chip number." Okay. He probably was holding his phone with his mouth open because he never had a chance to get in to say anything, because the operator answered his call and read out all of his information. He didn't know she was going to do that. Or he possibly did, but he was so surprised about how much information she knew about him. It would have been all on her computer screen in front of her as soon as she answered his call. All he was ringing up for was he was running out of one of his medication tablets. It brought up his medical history. The conversation went by him, "I want this medication." And she said, "Well, since you are diabetic, you can't have that medication. I'm going to recommend you have this medication." he didn't have any comeback. She didn't have the right to tell him what he needed. She is only looking at a screen, at a computer screen. He needs that medication because he probably takes it on a daily basis with a heart condition as well as being a diabetic. But that is the power that the government will have over us if we have that chip inserted into us. The bottom line is that man's medication, if she had listened to him, would have only cost him $15. What does she go and do? Doesn't want him to have that medication, insists he has another medication, and then charges a travel fee. So it went from 15 to 67. Well, as that man, I would have pulled that chip out of me instantly and said a few words after that too. But like I said, if we have this chip inserted to us, we don't have control over our mind, body, and soul. But there is a new player in town, and we have it. We know the power of this new coin. How do we know? We have tried and tested it. We know the benefits of it. And since we have it, we know we will never ever get that chip inserted inside of us anywhere in our body. Anybody who is blood related, not blood related, but has what we have will be safe from that nasty piece that's no bigger than a grain of rice. So we do have something that we want to share to you. But before I get to that, I'm going to, because what we have is the good side. But before we get to that, I'm going to hand it over to our beautiful lady, Marg, and she's going to join us in this topic. Hi, Marg.
Hi there, sorry, lady. I just got called away. I caught part of what you were talking about, Sharon and Tamara, and this is a serious matter. You know, the word is that we are in perilous times. And I saw an article where you can now, by using their chip, ride the train. So now they're starting to expand where they're putting that chip, making it available to people. I cannot stress the importance of us being free from that particular issue. Hence the reason when I get the when I'm able to access my abundance, my vision and my dream is to create a sanctuary where I think I mentioned in our first broadcast that I have a vision and a dream, just like my that we're going to build this sanctuary so that there's doctors, there's nurses, psychiatrists, every medical professional that you can think of is what my dream is to have available sanctuary, where people can come without being having to use the chip, and people know everything about that, every detail of their life. My life is my life, and that's my private, what I want, private. And unless I choose what I want, I will not be forced to put attention, so that powers can dictate what I should be doing in my life and my grandchildren. And the term that we use for grandchildren, mokopuna, in my language. And for me, I know that I don't have that much time on this earth, but my grandchildren, mokopuna, are my generations that will go on, and they will be the only indication that I ever existed. And so I really reiterate, and I agree with Tamara and Sharon about their view about the chip. And so I don't want to go on and on about this. And there's biblical truth to this. And this was foretold many years ago in the Christian church. And so we knew that it was coming. And for me, it's really important that I don't have that chip, and I refuse to have it. And so the abundance that TBC has offered us and the gift, and we are so grateful for this gift. And hence the reason why you see us persevere when there's frustration, negativity, naysayers out there trying to discourage us to move away from TBC. But we know that that's coming, and that's our future. And it was called of God at this point, so that we might have an abundance, not only for me personally, but for everybody who's willing to pick up and take that gift. Thanks, Sharon.
Thanks, Marg. That was awesome. But yeah. So now we can get into the exciting part. I think, oh, well, we're going to go over, but who cares? But we heard the horrible damage that if we let this chip happen, we know what's how it can be used against ourselves. Like I said, there is one thing that we believe as TBCians, TBC, the billion coin, that I don't know if it will save us, but that will make sure that we don't have this chip inserted into us. So what can the billion coin bring to each and every person? Well, now, in our agreement, it is the first abundant-based peer-to-peer coin that is to lift humanity out of poverty. That's why it was created, to bring humankind out of poverty. Now, there's different, like I said, there's different forms of poverty. It's not necessarily in South Africa and in all of third world countries. No, we have poverty in our own backyard. We have poverty in our own street, in our own suburb, in our own city, in our own country. And both Australia and New Zealand are deemed as first world countries. So we do have poverty in all different shapes, in all different forms. And this beautiful coin that was created by our TBC admin or whoever created it is to help help get rid of that poverty so we do not ever need to have that chip inserted. So dangerous. So this is the flip side of that coin. You have two beautiful options. Go down the road of the chip or accept the gift of TBC, the billion coin. Now, I can talk on and on, but I'm going to throw it over. What do you reckon, Marg, about TBC, the billion coin?
I'm really excited. I am totally excited. And I just went back this morning and I went to check in my single cash back office. And what did I see? Some more information. And, you know, the information that we're getting now is getting more frequent, more exciting, and it's, you know, it's actually starting to draw people back and draw the interest of those who were negative and had given up on it. And so I think all of us here, if I'm sure all of us here have been asked, so, is it for real? Are we nearly? And so it's really important that we continue to be enthusiastic, to be excited, to promote TBC and to duplicate what the leadership in the top 10 are doing, and to duplicate what admin is doing. And I just saw in the back office here about the warnings that we're giving for those that have buttons on. Wow, that is so cool. So just be mindful that you won't be able to all over admin guys or the police because they can see every transaction that we do.
Tamara.
That was awesome, Mike. So what I think of TBC now, I couldn't say more about TBC with regards to where we're at the moment. Honestly, this coin has actually blessed so many lives. And I don't know how we cannot share an amazing opportunity with the world, especially when we know that there are so many things that are happening around us, just simply with the elites. What is happening and what they're creating behind the scene, and it is now rolling out. You know, we've got so many people in New Zealand, here in Australia, who are living in their cars, in their vehicles. They're homeless. You know, I can only speak from experience, and I can speak from what I see. It's a very sensitive subject, but so very true. So very true. It's currently happening. And so, you know, TBC has come in as a blessing, and it couldn't have come at a better time than it is now. And if you're still sitting on the side and thinking, this is not real, I don't see the potential, always ask yourself this question: what if? Do you have a choice from getting a chip on your arm, on your neck, any part of your body? The answer to that, yes, you do. You have a choice. It's now up to you to get yourself educated and get yourself on the roll in getting yourself some TBC points. Become one of the elites. Who do you think is doing all these creations of the chip and all the immunizations and all those stuff? I see it on social media all the time. Any doctors that have actually found a cure for something, they're all murdered. So that's something. It's telling us people with the money has the power. Because they pay for people to get murdered. Because they found a cure for the human race. People who cares, they all of a sudden seem to just die off for whatever the hell the reason is. This is the difference between being educated and uneducated. If you don't roll up your socks and get to work, this is where you're heading with your whānau, with your family. We don't have to look far. We just have to look in our backyard at what is happening to us. So this is where TBC comes in, and I cannot stress it enough. We speak it on a daily basis. This is what we do, guys. You know, we've spent so much time educating ourselves, getting into the blog, watching videos, talk to people who are having so much, you know, trouble. You just have to turn into Facebook and look at how many people that are struggling right now. And they're just our friends and family who are living in vehicles with 3 kids. It's unbelievable what is happening in our world today. Now, the question is, if you were to hold one whole TBC, you would become a billionaire. Wouldn't you want to become one of the elite in TBC and run your own, create your own wealth, so that way you can stay away from what is happening around you, get yourself. Right now, as we speak, people with TBC are buying houses, land on the beaches of the world with TBC, vehicles. If you don't know who they are, come and ask. We'll show you who they are. People are actually experiencing this amazing blessing all over the world. Not just some country, all over the world. So this is where TBC is taking us. We are now becoming the elite of TBC. We can create the world, make it a better place, starting from us as individuals. And once we have it in our hands, it is our duty to share it with the world. And where do you start? From our backyard. Start from us and work our way slowly. Bless everybody that we come across, because it's a blessing and it's for free. I have never seen anything like this in my life, where you're getting something for free and it's required of you to go and share with the world. So that's my a little bit about TBC there, Sharon. Thank you so much for coming into your live this morning. Don't forget to join me on my live tonight.
Definitely.
Yes, it's been an amazing journey.
Yeah.
I can't speak enough of it. Margaret, thank you so much, girl. These are our leadership team here. Come and get educated and join the fun. God bless you, girls.
Thank you, Tamara. Thank you for joining me on my live this morning. And to Aunt Margaret Ngapera, I am going to put their names individually on this YouTube link. So if you want to get in contact with any one of us, just search their names by YouTube and then you will find us. Or look in the links down below of this. But trying to come back after a serious topic is very difficult to do, but because we know where this chip is going. Well, it's already started.
Yeah.
So you either come and join us with TBC, the billion coin, and be financially stable. We're giving you the gift. So you can go on start your journey. So you never, ever, ever have to have that chip inserted into you. Like I said, who's going to get it first? Government dependent people.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Any person that is on social welfare, whether it's in this country, that country, any of those countries around the world, any country that has a social welfare system, those people will be the first to have that chip inserted. So I know which I want. I want TBC all the way. All the way. So on that note, Marg.
Yes. We are the ones. We are the ones that make a better place in this world. And we do that by offering the gift, the TBC coin. And so I just want to encourage all of you out there who I can't remember what my husband said yesterday morning. We can be a victim of circumstances, or we can be the recipient of the answer that we find in our lives to correct the poverty or anything that affects us, and having a positive attitude towards where we go. And education is top. I have to agree with Mama. Bless you all.
Thank you, ladies. I think, well, that was a huge subject. I mean, we could go on and on and on, but I think I'm going to leave it there. So this is Sharon Weller from Perth, Australia. Thank you for joining me in my live, and we'll do it all again tomorrow, same time. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.